Okay. June 5th this year, no touch law in Arizona came out. So that means, and it's actually not a no touch law. But people know it as that. And no touch, a little bit deceiving in its name or the way it's being called, is you cannot touch this at all, any mobile device whatsoever while operating a car, while driving a car. And so it can result in a criminal penalty, criminal charge. I think it's step one for those things to start to become treated more like DUIs. A lot of crashes, a lot of accidents, a lot of traffic issues in general stem from cell phone usage while operating your car, while driving. And so it's actually called a hands-free under the statute. First-time offense, it can be as little as $70 charge, and as high as, I think it said, $149 under the statute, $149. First timer. Doesn't talk much about second time, things like that. I really do feel like we're wading into the pool a little bit deeper. I think at some point cell phones are going to be treated, this is speculation, but I think cell phones are going to be treated like DUIs at some point.
Yeah. Do you think that they should be treated like DUIs?
There are some folks that believe that cell phones are more dangerous in general than driving under the influence. Now, if you take a step back, and this is a little bit of speculation as well, or just conjecture, but take a step back and look at when you're looking at your phone or sitting there kind of trying to look at a text or trying to send one or push a certain button or send a certain anything, your focus is real divided. When you're drunk or having had a few, you're focused on trying to drive and trying to drive straight. So there's a good argument to be made that it's likely more dangerous to have the cell phone. It's certainly more prevalent. I mean, I don't know anybody that's not guilty of messing around with their cell phone while they're driving. And now it's just hands-free. Don't even touch it. So I kind of think that's a pretty good, solid rule of thumb anyway. When my kids start getting their licenses, it's like your phone stays away from you. It's out of your reach. Mm-hmm. Reed taught me that early on. He was my firstborn. Totaled the car I bought him like 2 months in because he was jacking around with his phone. And hopefully he's learned from that. But I learned the bigger lesson because I had to pay the bill.
Yeah. Do you see cops pulling people over and saying, "Oh, I saw you touching your phone"?
We have seen a lot of that. We have seen a lot of folks getting cited for distracted driving prior to June, and law enforcement writing these tickets. So this isn't entirely new. It's just a kind of a campaign, a pretty good size approach by the state trying to cut down on the danger of cell phone usage during driving.
Yeah. Are there any like exceptions for like, oh, I was using my maps or it was emergency or anything like that?
Great question. There is an emergency. Let's start with emergency. So there is an emergency exception. So the 911, the calling somebody because it's an emergency, to do so, you can do that. There are also hands-free options. You can talk to text all you want and say send, as long as you're not touching your device. You can still fiddle with the radio. You can still, if you're a CDL driver and you're kind of old school and you got your CBs, you can still do your CB trucking. But so many of the old school things that would distract you, like a regular run-of-the-mill transistor radio, like the radios that, a lot of the young folks don't know. There used to be this thing called radio, and not everything was on your iTunes. And you can still fiddle with that. At the end of the day, it's just don't touch the phone. It's like you get in that car, the phone is... We all know it's not dead to you because the phone's practically hooked up to the car nowadays. And so you've got, Siri taking you wherever and the maps taking you wherever, and that's fine. That can continue to be the case, but you can't switch routes or change routes, or you can't not do that with your hands. You have to do it verbally, or you got to pull over and come to a complete stop, because you can't even do this at a red light. You cannot touch the phone at a red light and guarantee your money back. There's going to be a lot of motors sitting there at red lights, not looking for people blowing the red lights anymore, but looking for people to start jacking with their phones at the red light.
That's interesting. So the charges for first offense or especially repeats, like how are those showing up on records and affecting?
As of right now, it looks like it's a slap on the wrist for the first timer, and you're paying a fine. Likely it's not going to work its way onto your criminal record. That's the way it looks to me. It's a little bit ambiguous at this point because it's in a criminal statute. And so we're not seeing a lot of these things rolling through the criminal system right now. But something tells me we're going to be seeing these things being prosecuted more and more and more. As of right now, you're paying a fine, a little slap on the wrist, kind of akin to running a red light, which has always been considered borderline criminal because of the danger factor of that. And so you've got the red light tickets that you get in the mail aren't the same. Now we're kind of going off topic here, but not really. Just kind of hear me out. You get a red light ticket in the mail because you weren't in the intersection when the light faced red and it took your picture. And that's photo radar, and usually that has to be served on you. But if it's a red light ticket, no, that's not the case. So then all of a sudden you get pulled over sometime after you get this red light ticket in the mail that you didn't take care of, and you have a warrant for your arrest. And most of the time, law enforcement, if you know that's the case, is going to say, hey, you might want to go take care of that warrant. But they don't have to. They can impound your rig and pull you in and book you, and you're in there for a red light, running a red light.
Yeah.
So I think this falls in that category of it's just right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Okay, so final thoughts, final two questions. Do you agree with the state's decision to move towards this and move forward with it?
The Arizona no-touch law, since we do a lot of accident injury work, and obviously we do a ton of criminal work, Arizona no-touch law, and I like calling it no-touch, but hands-free. It's not as fun to say hands-free. No-touch, no-touch. Okay. It creates so much problems out on the roadway. I mean, how many times are you honking at somebody to, stop doing their text because the light went green, and you're like, come on now, come on, let's get traffic going. That's a minor nuisance in my opinion, but it's still a nuisance. But you see folks swerving around all of the time, just distracted because, hell, I saw on the way in today, some dude on a Harley, which who in their right mind to be riding a Harley with this temperature out right now? But I guess he's a true believer for sure. But dude's sitting there sending something while he's riding this Harley, and he's kind of going this way. And you know how catastrophic it's going to be if dude meets curb? For him, that's a pretty bad day at Black Rock.
Yeah.
For, me in the car, it's a little less bad day at Black Rock, but still kind of sucks.
Or dude meets biker on the side
right.
of the road.
Or a little kid. Right. And so this is a problem. And so do I like it? I think it's necessary. And the reality is unfortunately, it shouldn't have to be a law. This should be kind of a common sense thing, but I don't know.
You gotta meet people where they're at. Okay, so final question, just relating to the no-touch law, phone usage, just final piece of advice.
It's always a solid idea to focus on driving. It's always a solid idea to conduct your business when you're not driving. Obviously, we are all used to the maps. We're all used to talking on the phone while driving. All of these things, be responsible and use the right, if your earpieces run out of battery juice or you don't have a connection or for some reason, the conversation isn't worth running over a 3-year-old. It's not worth running into a pole or, jacking up your tire on a curb. It's not worth any of these things. So just park the phone, use it, and if for some reason there's some technical difficulties, because we all know there's going to be, and your maps phases out on you or something, there's a detour that it didn't tell you about or whatever, is, you know what, deep breath, pull over, reconfigure stuff, and then go about your way. Another thing I might add is, since we didn't talk about this at all, is the no touch thing. Hands-free really is going to cut down, in my opinion, if folks really adhere to it. And you're going to have to get a ticket or two before you stop parking in the street sweeper area. I mean, I had to learn that the hard way. You're not supposed to park in a certain area where we live because of the street sweeper. And after the second citation, crap, all right, I'm not parking there anymore. All right, so it does work. It's a good deterrent. Hopefully that's the way you learn in this regard. But road rage, that's a very real thing. And so something as stupid as driving while checking out your phone and not going and not having a reminder in your Kia to tell you to go might really tick off the wrong person having the wrong type of day and this wrong type of heat. And now all of a sudden you've got guns blazing and you've got folks fisticuffing or running into each other and things like that. And we see the road rage stuff all the time. So all in all, I think it's a really good idea to just remind, and now it's a law, just park the phone. Keep it, it's a tool for your ears while you're driving.
Yeah, my dad rented a Cadillac once because his car was in the shop, and it had one of those like magnetic chargers that you could place the phone on. But when you put it on the charger, it closed a door to keep the phone inside there. So it was like you physically had to lock your phone away if you wanted to charge it there.
Oh, I love that. Look, I mean, phones are definitely an issue in general. Globally, we can get into that another time. But while driving, it's self-discipline at this point until we get the Cadillacs.
True.